All right, well, I've got an empty room today because we have a distance learning day in Madison County Schools. As you know, being a Madison County parent, but I do am being joined by a class virtually. And we're recording this for our friends at Rosa Scott, Germantown, and Ridgeland High. And we have been looking at the IT career cluster, which is obviously your area of expertise. So why don't you tell us all about who you are and what you do and the diversity of the IT field?
All right, good. First off, I want to thank Mr. Paget for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and virtually and speak to the students of Madison County. Again, my name is Derrick Everett, and I am an IT professional. I've been an IT professional for approximately 18 years, little 18 plus few months. I work for the state of Mississippi, Department of Revenue to be exact, and it encompasses a lot. I am the IT manager or infrastructure manager for the Department of Revenue, and I am over all of the servers, the network, and the desktop team. So I handle desktops and laptops. I also handle the networks, Cisco switches. I don't know if you all have heard that language before, that terminology, Cisco switches, and we also have Cisco servers. So just a little bit about myself. I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi. Went to Lanier High School, and from there I went to Alcorn State University and majored in IT curriculum. And so I got my degree, and then I started working for the state of Mississippi in 2003 after graduating in 2003. So being in the IT field has definitely been rewarding for myself. And I'm here to encourage those of you all that are interested in going into the IT field. So.
And you said how you're with the Department of Revenue. It's something I was just talking about and we were looking at is that, Department of Revenue is a finance-based state entity, but you are not necessarily a finance person. So every company, every entity is going to need IT professionals, software people, web people, hardware people. So what are some of the opportunities in the IT areas, even if it's not in a finance entity?
Right. So very good question. IT is the foundation. It is the core of every single company in 2021 and going forward. Without IT, the company won't be able to function. And just to give you a little bit of a background, we have approximately I think 220 auditors across the state of Mississippi and revenue officers, and they go and audit businesses and individuals for tax fraud. And so those systems that they're using, those laptops, those desktops, and the system that they're using, it all ends up with my group and me and my group ensuring that the systems are up. And just to give you a little bit more background, we're responsible for 97% of the general fund for the state of Mississippi. And the new numbers that equated to the systems that I'm over, the servers that I'm over, bring in about $9.2 billion a year. So it's a very important job. If those servers go down, I think for maybe 24 hours, the governor will have to issue a state of an emergency. We are also over ABC, and that's alcohol, beverage, and control. They ship liquor throughout the state of Mississippi. So all the liquor stores, they come from the liquor comes from the Department of Revenue, and that equates to about $125 million a year. So IT is the absolute core. It's the end all. It stops with us.
Yeah, and that includes phone systems, that includes email systems, that includes point of sale systems, and obviously that includes time clock systems. People can't even clock in and out if the IT system is down, and that can be done in any type of entity. And also, I know you're more of a even though you can do it all, you're more of a hardware person. there are also jobs where people can work from home just doing the software.
Absolutely. In this day and age, although we don't work from home, really and truly, working in the IT field, you can work from home. Everything that I'm doing in my office today, I can do it from my house.
Wow.
So there are jobs out there now, and it's called brick and mortar. A lot of companies are going to the remote work or work from home status because it's saving the companies on brick and mortar. And that means they don't have to worry about lights. They don't have to worry about leases and things of that nature, because everything you can do now, especially in the IT field, you can do it from home. Now it will be times like myself, if I have any hardware failure, that we may have to come into the office and address that hardware failure. But now, these days, most likely it won't even be any hardware failures, because it's mostly application based. So that's the good part of being on the hardware side, because we have different groups in my area in the IT realm of things. We have a developer side. So that's a totally different group, and that's more of a programming. We're doing a lot of programming. The developers do a lot of programming based Java. We're a big SQL shop, Microsoft SQL shop. We have, I don't know, a plethora of SQL servers here at the Department of Revenue. So
Yeah, and that's, I'm glad you said that too, because one thing I'll talk about in class is that having the ability to at least be familiar with multiple software programs, we don't really do coding in here, but being able to just do basic coding across multiple languages is very beneficial in the way business is changing. I'm sure you see that in IT as well.
absolutely. I am not so much of a networking guy, but I have networking experience. I've been more on the system administration side of it, and now in management. But it definitely it pays off to be able to be, for lack of a better term, a jack of all trades.
Now, you said you went to Alcorn, you got the IT degree there. I know they have a great computer program. So does Jackson State. I know Mississippi colleges are getting a lot better, as well as Ole Miss, Southern Miss. Both all have great IT degrees. But how much of that degree is the basis of it, or is it more the on the job training? Or because somebody get an associate's. And we had a speaker in another class who said her for the Marine Corps, said her husband never went to college, learned how to be an IT pro in the military, got 6 years of IT experience, and now he's a 6-figure IT professional just because of military IT training. So how much of the training is college based, and how much is actually on the job because of the ever changing technology?
Right. Real world experience, you can't substitute that, right? Right now, I am working with the department chair at Alcorn State University, from the department that I graduated from, to come and do what I'm doing now to the students at Alcorn State University, and hopefully do it at other universities as well, because what's being taught at the schools, you have no type of real world experience. The stuff that's being taught in the books is very basic and very general. You can't substitute real world experience. And just for that matter, I have a guy that I just hired this is his first IT job. He has a certification in Cisco, but at the same time, I mean, that certification don't mean a whole lot to me, because it's the real world experience that you have to have to be able to do your job effectively. And associate's degree, they work just as good as a bachelor's, because especially if I'm looking at a resume, if I'm interviewing someone, a person with a bachelor with 0 years of experience versus a person with an associate's with 5-6 years of experience IT work, I'm going to tend to lean towards that person with the associate's degree, because they have the real world experience. I mean, they've seen issues that come up, and they know how to address those issues. But a person with 0 years experience, we have to basically walk them along, you know what I'm saying, the process and train them a little bit more, be more hands-on with that particular individual.
Yeah, and the certifications you talk about, those can be acquired through Hines or Holmes in a year.
Right.
If we have some student, anybody watching later as well, if they're wanting to just go the community college route, you could at least get your foot in the door in IT with just a certification, and then go to school part time and get a degree as you're going. So
Absolutely.
it is a job where you could, you wouldn't have to go all 4 years. And if you wanted to, you did, I did, and if that's a path, that your path, that's fine. But it is not something that you have to get the 4-year degree right away, and you can start working with multiple levels of experience.
And to that point, and if you are going to go the route of a 4-year degree, that's fine. But what I did while I was going through getting my 4-year degree, I actually co-opted and interned, and I got that real world experience. So once I graduated, I had about 1.5 years of real world experience.
Yeah, and more degrees are requiring that. I know my degree in college did, so yours did as well. It requires some type of internship experience where you would get credit for that. You're not getting paid for it, but you get the college credit and you get the experience and you get the networking. So now, and also, let's go back to the importance of that server. You said if the server goes down, because I remember I asked you one time, what happens if the server goes down, and your answer immediately was it can't go down. So is it a 24/7 on call type thing, or is it more of a set schedule?
It's a 24/7 on call type of deal. We are in a good place where we build redundancy into all of our servers, and the key thing, the key when you're in IT is test. It's an old saying from a carpenter. It says measure twice and cut once.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you have certain measures and certain things in place to so you won't have to go down that path or have a server to go down. I mean, in case in point, I got called last night. It was ABC. We had issues shipping liquor. Had issues shipping liquor, and so what we had to get them back going. I mean, it was just one of those things, and so it is what it is. It's the IT field, but these days, it's just make sure you have measures in place that so you won't have to go down that path.
Okay. Well, I do have some questions I want to get to that they put in the chat box here. The first, and these are all 9th graders. This first one is Kwame Johnson, and he asked, and he's real interested in engineering, but he asked, with the increase of cyber attacks, how do you protect against hackers from information being stolen or hacked?
Again, being in the Department of Revenue, obviously, $9.2 billion a year, we're getting attacked every day. I mean, it is what it is. But it's the reason why we patch and patching. It addresses security vulnerabilities on your servers, desktops, laptops. We make sure we do that monthly. We patch our firewalls. Firewalls is at the edge. That's the catch-all. We only allow certain things to come onto our network, and then there are things that possibly get through. You have virus software that you have to have on your servers, your desktops and laptops. So it's certain measures that you have to put in place to ensure that you don't get attacked by ransomware. And the most of your attacks these days are ransomware. So you got to make sure you start off when you're building a network or when you're working in IT, especially on my side, the infrastructure side, the hardware side, the networking side. You have to make sure that you start with security, deny all, and then we address any of the other stuff that needs to get out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you do that. You address it with certain security measures.
Okay. Now this is a question I never would have thought of. This is Madison Collins, and she asked, if disaster struck in your area, what percentage of the IT services will still be available?
100%. We have a DR site.
Wow.
So in the event of a natural disaster, we have a DR site in Starkville. So we will move all of our functions to Starkville. It's basically a click of a button. We put certain measures in place that will allow us to flip a button or flip a switch and move all of our services to Starkville in the event of a disaster.
Wow, that's a great idea. I never would have thought of that. This is Keisha Daltrey, and she asked, "What are the obstacles you run into every day in cooperating with IT programs?"
There's obstacles every day. I mean, it is what it is, and this goes back to the real world experience. You see certain things, and you have to address them as they come up. Case in point, last night, they ship every night, so we didn't know that I didn't know I was going to get called at 7 o'clock, so I had to pull my laptop out again. Because we're in 2021, we can do everything from home. So I was able to, I didn't have to come into the office or go to ABC, which is located out there in Gluckstadt. I was able to do everything through email and through my phone to address the obstacle or the issue that arose last night.
Okay. This is Travarius Carson, and he's asked, "Did you like dealing with computers as a child?"
I did. Actually, through high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an IT professional in high school. So I enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoying it. And I'm definitely, at this point, 18 years or plus, I'm definitely going to make a career out of it.
That's awesome. Now this is Makayla Williams, and she's interested in getting into the IT field. And she asked, "What would be the best advice for an up-and-comer wanting to work in the IT cluster?"
Um, get the experience. Get a college degree, associate's, bachelor's, but definitely try to what I would like to do is, and the pandemic is playing a huge role in it. Instead of doing this, possibly giving Mr. Pygott an opportunity to have a field trip to come up here and just to actually see some of the things that we do in the day-to-day things that we might go through. I think that would be very beneficial for students to know if this is something that they want to get into, and possibly eventually do an intern program. But it's definitely real world. Security is big. I think one of the questions about cyber attacks, very good question. And if I want to encourage anyone to get into security, because security is very important.
I know Jackson State and Southern Miss both have cybersecurity degrees now.
Right.
Yeah, and they just come out in the last few years. So their people are specializing in that, and they can make a lot of money doing it.
Absolutely. That's the catch-all, right? It starts, it stops with security,
Now this is Jakayla Page. This is more of a programming question, but she asked, if you were when you're programming, what's the first step you start off with?
You start off with the very first step. I mean, programming is a language, right? So it just depends on what that language is. If and statements, from the little experience, because I'm not a programmer by no means, but I do do a little scripting. But it starts with the if and statements, right? If this, then do this, so.
Now, and nobody's asked this, but this is just me asking this. How transferable and portable are the IT certifications? Because I know you have a little bit of experience in the private sector as well. So let's say somebody started out working at the Department of Revenue and they had an opportunity to go to or they had to move to another part of the country or something. How portable are those jobs? Is it something you can do anywhere and for any company?
Yeah, I mean, it's jobs. Case in point, I had a guy to leave a few months ago. He's working from home, but the company is headquartered in Canada, right? So I mean, he works from home and he's in security, and he does penetration testing for other companies. Other companies pay his company to see if they can hack into the other company. The company that I left, I had about a year before I came to the Department of Revenue. I had a year in the private sector, Hudson Bay Company, which is a Saks Fifth Avenue. they are headquartered in Canada. So, I mean, I was working from home basically half of the week, but they had an office on Highway 80, the old Saks Fifth Avenue office, but I could work from home. So,
Wow, that's crazy. Now, I know you grew up in Jackson. You know, we're all Madison County. You're a Madison County parent now, so obviously you went to Lanier High School. Grew up in West Jackson. You told me yourself you grew up in the hood. So you've become very successful. So what can these young people, especially these young Black students, what can they do to be as successful as you've become?
stay the course. I mean, no, find something that you like to do or that you want to do. It don't even have to be in the IT field, and stay focused on that, and listen to your parents. I had a very good upbringing. I had great grandparents and both of my parents. So it's important to understand that in order to be successful, you have to get the proper training, whether that's the military, whether that's an associate's degree, whether that's a bachelor's degree. You have to leave high school and going on to bigger and better things. So just make sure that you stay the course and understand that it's important to work hard. And I live by a saying that Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality, and I actually have it on my wall right here. It says it's a constant quest to try to be better today than you were yesterday, and better tomorrow than you were the day before. Right. So I got to start working on tomorrow right now.
Wow.
Right. Trying to be better. So it's important to try to a constant quest to be better each and every day.
And we thank you so much for joining us, but I forgot one thing I wanted to ask. Would there be part-time or freelance opportunities in IT for people to make a little side hustle?
Absolutely. When I first got out of college and started my career, I used to work on PCs, desktops for people go into their homes and work on those on their computers. So absolutely, it's always it's going to always be an opportunity in the IT field.
Man, that's great, and I think we did a great job of showing that this might right now IT might be the hottest field in America, just because, especially since COVID, because of the virtual business that has to be done, the virtual meetings that have to be done, and then just the millions and millions and millions of points of sales. And like you said, the security is just such a big deal that universities are offering degrees in it now.
Right, absolutely.
But again, I know you're really busy. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, as always, have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon, my friend.
Hey, it's always a pleasure, Mr. Pyatt.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.